Newly released messages are putting Dr. Anthony Fauci's private concerns about COVID-19 vaccines and pregnancy under fresh scrutiny. The messages show Fauci privately raising a theoretical concern about a possible link between vaccination and miscarriage, even as he publicly said there were no red flags involving pregnant women, as per the New York Post. The exchange dates back to January 25, 2021, when he was still director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. He was texting then CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky and Surgeon General Vivek Murthy when he raised the issue. Fauci wrote that he had asked around further and that another issue had come up that they needed to be aware of. He then pointed to a specific concern that because many people experienced a significant cytokine response and fever after a second vaccine dose, this could, theoretically, be associated with miscarriage during the first trimester. It is important to stress that Fauci was describing a theoretical possibility, not confirming that COVID-19 vaccines caused miscarriages. The newly released messages, however, are drawing attention because of what Fauci said publicly just days later. On February 3, 2021, Fauci was asked about the safety of COVID-19 vaccination during pregnancy. At the time, he said the FDA had found no red flags so far concerning pregnant women, as per the New York Post. That apparent contrast between a private discussion about a theoretical miscarriage risk and a public statement emphasizing the absence of red flags is now at the center of the controversy. The messages were released today by Republican Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky and Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, who have been investigating Fauci's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the senators, the material comes from a much larger trove of records recovered from Fauci's government-issued cell phone, including more than 34,000 text messages and 522 voicemails. According to Paul and Johnson, only 3 contacts appear in the phone's contact list, and they say it is still too early to determine whether any data may have been deleted. That means the full context of the communications, including what Fauci may have discussed with others outside those records, remains unclear. And this comes just days after the Senate took its confrontation with the former top health official even further. On August 6th, senators voted to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress and refer the matter to the Justice Department for potential prosecution. And that vote takes us back to another controversial chapter in Fauci's congressional testimony, his repeated decision to invoke the Fifth Amendment when questioned by lawmakers.
Dr. Fauci, have you been read into any classified Department of Homeland Security program, any prospective special access program concerning gain-of-function research?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
But the attorneys are not recognized. In fact, the attorney was told not to sit at the table, and he's not obeying that recommendation. There's a row behind you, sir. That's where you were told to sit, and you're not. And now you're disrupting the proceedings. And so, look, this is the way Anthony Fauci wants to be remembered, for a lawyer not listening to the rules. That's the way you want to be remembered, and that's what you're going to do. You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room. In no courtroom in America can you have your witness plead the Fifth Amendment and then your attorney gets to testify. That's what that letter is. The attorney's complaining and testifying, saying, he didn't do it, the prosecution's unfair. You don't get to do that. That's one thing you give up when you take the Fifth Amendment. You say, I'm not going to testify. I'm not going to give you any information. You don't then get to put your lawyer forward to justify it.
Dr. Fauci has saved lives, as have public health officials in the United States and throughout the world. And today, we are demeaning and degrading their life-saving service. Republicans are eager to rebrand you as a villain. in order to distract from their own failure to protect Americans from soaring health care costs.
And it is unfortunate that you have been put in the position that you are in today. And it must be enormously frustrating to know that this hearing is designed to entrap you. It must be very frustrating for your attorneys to hear the chair's mischaracterization of the legal issues and posture that impact your decisions at the witness table today.
Did you ever have an opportunity to bring up the potential of measles deaths among children and an infection rate going around the world from measles based on the fact that so many children would not get their measles vaccine because of the shutdown?
I'm sorry, Senator, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
That is your right to do.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc? Let's try something. What day of the week is it today?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color?
Dr. Fauci, I wanted to hear perhaps an apology, perhaps some semblance of being sorry for what happened or that judgment errors were made. We didn't hear any of that. But he was subpoenaed here to testify, refused to answer any questions, even after being directed by the chair and being advised of the law requiring him to do so. He has cited a privilege that is unsupported because of his blanket pardon and because he waived the privilege by testifying at the start. I'm going to give you one more opportunity to comply with the law, limited to the period of your pardon. At any point between January 1st, 2014 and January 19th, 2025, did you destroy any federal record or tell anyone else to?
Under the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Given that you have a unlimited presidential pardon, what is your specific objection that you are making?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
My question was limited to the period of your pardon only. I find your objection unsupported and direct you to answer the question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Because you refuse to answer, citing a privilege that is unsupported because of your pardon, and after being denied to do so, this committee has scheduled a vote next week on a resolution certifying your contempt.